What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Bougie Sports Podcast. I'm Yvette, your host, and as always, I am so happy that you are here. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is the first time you're watching the podcast, thank you. You can find more podcasts like this and other ones like the Squad Pod, our college football podcast, at bougiesports.net. From there, please, that's my Sabrina Carpenter for you guys. Subscribe to Bougie Sports on YouTube. Oh, yeah. Did I say that? And here's a ticker for you, too. I had 666 subscribers on the channel, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I put a post up to with the YouTube channel, follow Bougie Sports on YouTube, check out the website, and I checked again because I didn't want 666, and I had 665. So instead of getting more followers, I actually lost a follower, probably for begging again. So stop me too. Anyways, if you please can subscribe to Bougie Sports on YouTube, that'd be awesome. Even if you're not on YouTube, you could still subscribe to it because it's not going to bother you. It's not going to it's not a big deal for you to subscribe. All you have to do is just press subscribe, just go on to YouTube and just press subscribe. Nobody's going to know that you did it because most subscriptions are private, first of all, so you don't have to tell anyone. And second of all, I won't even know usually because I don't barely check my notifications. So, that's probably why I don't have many subscribers, but yeah. I don't have any notifications on my phone. Okay, so let me reverse this. I do have notifications, but you have to go into the app to see them. So I don't get bothered with notifications. You know what I mean? So much to talk about this week. Like I said, playoffs started. We have some disappointed fans. We have some very excited fans. I think most of the games turned out the way we thought they would, most of them, but we'll dive into that later. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft. It's going to be a long 3 months of speculation, over analyzing, and arguing with other fans about things that probably won't even happen anyways. But we're here for it, right? I love it. I absolutely love the NFL draft. I've been a big fan of the NFL draft. So, well, for a long time because the Browns sucked for most of my fandom. So always enjoyed seeing who we're going to get until, the last couple of years where we haven't had drafts, which was kind of weird. But, let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about other things. Obviously, you see I'm wearing all my Buckeyes gear today. That's our Ohio team that's still playing right now. Not only still playing, but heading to the national championship against Notre Dame. Yes, we took on Texas and in the Cotton Bowl, and Ryan Day and his rosy cheeks. Doesn't he have the rosiest cheeks in the world? It's like he would make a great Santa Claus when he gets older. On his way to the national championship. And I guess there goes the conversation on whether or not Ryan Day is going to keep his job and all of that. But we'll save that talk to the college football pod. Okay, let's take a look at how I did this week. So let me stop it right there. So yeah, I picked the Vikings. I was wrong there. I also had the Chargers beating the Texans, and so I took an L on that one. Also, wait a minute, did I pick 3 L's? Yeah, because I also picked Tampa over Washington, so I got that one wrong too. So yeah, I don't know. How did you guys do this week? I think that funny thing is like my inner side right there, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Lions, Bills, all that's still, in motion. So what I am the most worried about, is this right here, the Ravens Bills game. This game is really going to determine the MVP. I know the votes have been casted, but I think the big question was this year, is it Josh Allen or is it Lamar Jackson? And I guess if you go by the numbers, Lamar Jackson killed Josh Allen, I think. But no one expected Josh Allen to be able to take this team, without Stephon Diggs and all the other changes they made in the offseason to where they're at. So, they're both such mobile quarterbacks and passing quarterbacks. So I think that this game is going to determine not the MVP by, the analysts and the standards, but the MVP in the minds of the fans and the people. And this is a game to watch. I'm nervous. I have the Bills winning this game, but there is so many arguments where you could see the Ravens taking this game. Derrick Henry and the changes they made were amazing this year. I know they were losing a lot of people from last year on their defense, but you don't need much when you have Lamar Jackson, right? I mean, gosh, is it panic time for the Packers? Jordan Love threw, I think, 3 or 4 picks this playoff game. And I think they're calling for his head out there. Is it time for the Packers to panic? I don't think so, because they have such a young team. Jordan Love, I think this is only his second year in the league. They have Christian Watson, Jalen Reed. They're all young and on their way up. So I don't think it's time to hit the panic button. I'm coming from the place of quarterbacks are very rare. So anytime that you have a quarterback that's even somewhat decent, I mean, you don't want to give that away. I don't think so. Speaking of somewhat decent, Jaden Daniels is him. Oh my God. Is he a rookie? I don't know. He sure does not play like one. The Washington Commanders. I'm glad I keep saying that. I didn't say the Redskins. The Washington football team. Or is it the Commanders? Gosh, I can't get that straight. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. I think they should call him the Jaden Daniels, because that's all we know about Washington right now, right? Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin all year. That certainly happened this weekend against Tampa. Wow. I think he had almost another perfect game. I had Tampa on that game because I thought Baker Mayfield's heart would pull him through. And we still seen that on display, right? Baker Mayfield had some amazing runs. And God, I just love watching him play football, because it just makes my heart grow 2 sizes, because you can tell Baker Mayfield loves to play football. He loves winning. That's one of the reasons why I loved him so much in Cleveland, because the moment he was drafted and he answered the phone call with tears in his eyes, he was so happy to play for the Cleveland Browns. And that to me meant so much. It doesn't have to be how good you are. Of course we want good, but we also want someone we can root for. And that's hopefully going to happen this year in Cleveland, because we need to make some moves. We don't have a quarterback at all. So yes, Commanders Cinderella season. I put Commanders there, so to put it. It was a Cinderella season. Wasn't that season fun to watch? The Denver Broncos, I'll tell you what, nobody had them doing as good as they did with Bo Nix. I think they're going to be a team to watch next year. And we, as Cleveland Browns fans, need to step up, because these teams with these new quarterbacks, like Washington, now that Sam Darnold had a terrible game, we're going to bring back JJ McCarthy. And Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. He just needs to be more developed, and I think then he's on his way. So we have to do something. Okay, let's get going. All right. Before we talk about this next game, I must say that I fully understand, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I have absolutely no right in this world to talk trash about any other team or fan base. Yet I am. You guys know this. And I just wanted to make that clear before we started talking, that I'm aware of the hypocrisy. All right. With that being said, let's just go. Okay. The Ravens made the Steelers their, enter the word. Not that I'm happy to see the Ravens do well, although it's really hard to not cheer for Lamar Jackson, right? Just because he's so freaking good. The Pittsburgh Steelers could not stop the run on the Baltimore Ravens. They ran 15 times on them in a row. No, Dave Flowers, Pittsburgh Steelers, who again have not won a playoff game in the last 7 years, which gets the fan base questioning, and not only fan base questioning, I see everybody questioning about whether or not Mike Tomlin should keep his job as a fan and a voice of a fan, because that's who I feel like I am and I represent. I'm not a talking head or a sports analyst. I am a fan, and my opinions are biased. I understand like where I don't get it. You know? I mean, because from the outside looking in, I see a Hall of Fame coach. You know, I see someone that is not easily replaced. So I'm thinking, you get rid of Mike Tomlin, then who you're going to get? And when you have a coach that's been there for so long, and again, on the outside looking in, that consistency must be nice. And why would you want to get rid of that? You know, like on the other side of it, it would be interesting to see where Mike Tomlin would go and what he could do on another team. And they've mentioned the Raiders and the Bears or the Cowboys. I don't know. Never know. So many weird things. I mean, later on, we're going to talk about Deion Sanders to the Cowboys. Okay, because like I said, I am not on the inside, you know, of the Steelers fan base, so I really don't know how it feels to be them with Mike Tomlin. So I did ask people on Facebook and also on X what they thought about Mike Tomlin's future, and this is what they have to say. Okay, so this was what I said. I didn't expect the Steelers to win anywhere near the amount of games they won in the regular season, let alone get to the playoffs with a Rusty Wilson. All right, I didn't say that, but I wish I would have. But yeah, fire your coach, because there's so many Hall of Fame coaches just laying around. Sarcasm. And my question was, do you think Mike Tomlin's time is finished in Pittsburgh? So here are some of the answers. My good friend Maria, the Steelers have had 3 coaches since 1969. I don't think it's going to happen. And that's what I, go back to before. I mean, that's good. Consistency is good. The Rubies do not fire coaches. The only way Tomlin will leave is on his own. A lot of people say that. As a Steelers fan, I don't think getting rid of Tomlin is the answer. I started watching Steelers football in the period between Bradshaw and Ben, and those were some very lean years where we barely sniffed at the playoffs. That being said, they need to look at everything, especially what the team is doing the second half of the season. The last few years, they seem to be a step behind the other teams at the end of the season. Exactly. That's why I think Steelers fans are so frustrated, is that you're good, but you're not at that level where you can beat Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. I'll take him in Chicago. Well, no, but a lot of the fan base is still in fantasy land and denial. As Steelers fans, as soon as you post and tell them that you get the picture of the Super Bowl trophies in their revisional history, they believe they are the best franchise in history. When in fact, the Packers have 13 world championships, Bears 9, and Giants 8. When you go to the Hall of Fame, that's how it's shown in the championship exhibit in the records books. Bam! As for Steelers, now this year they had a schedule that every break injury went their way. They were far from playoff caliber. And when the schedule got tough, at the end, their losing streak started. Tomlin coaches butt off and never made excuses. He's a great coach. No, he's not better than 75% of the others. No, but he is. Okay, is he a great coach? No, but he is better than 75% of the others. Sorry, you guys. See how reflection makes all the difference? You get mad at your friends when they text. That was just a simple note. So, yeah, some feedback there from Steelers fans and others. Referring back to the one comment, it's that thing like where he mentioned like at the beginning of the season, the Steelers are doing good, and at the end they choke and then they don't go to the playoffs. It's the same thing every year. But I mean, throughout the season, though, even this season, you guys, Steelers did good and got to enjoy some of it. But yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking loss for Steelers fans, I'm sure, because the rivalry in Baltimore and Steelers is huge. So I'm happy to see it, though. You guys all know I wanted the Steelers to lose. That is not a surprise. Hater in the building. It's all good. Yeah, so you guys seen that I did not expect the Texans to win, but they are going to take on the Kansas City Chiefs this week, which I'm rooting for them. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to be victorious. I know that they have Tank Dell back, and I think that made a big difference with CJ Stroud this week. But yeah, I don't know whether or not they'll be able to pull up the upset that I hope for. I keep saying we all hope for, but I don't know if I'm the majority. I think I'm the most of the majority because they're so good, and I think we all are like kind of over them, but in a good way. Like, this is how it is for the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, so this is really important. I jealous hate on the Chiefs. So what that means is that I am jealous of the Chiefs. I am jealous of Pat Mahomes. I am jealous of Travis Kelce. I am jealous that Taylor Swift comes to games and that she's undefeated when she comes to games. They don't lose, which Travis Kelce said she is coming to this game. So if history is going to repeat itself, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs will probably come up victorious again. But I love Taylor Swift. I know that's another one of those subjects, but I'm totally a Swiftie. I just like everything. I mean, I don't mean that. I just like what I like. I don't care what it means. If I like it, I like it. But I love listening to her with my daughter. We love her music, and we spend the whole summer listening to it together. So, and when you're always on the top and you win everything, people hate you. That's just how it rolls. So they're always on the top. So we hate them and we're just so sick of seeing them. We want to see someone else there, especially when you have these teams like the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills who have been through, so much like Cleveland Browns fans, but you like to see an underdog win and give other people a chance, every once in a while to have their moment. So, yeah. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I do not want the Chiefs to win. No. Okay. With that being said, I like all of them, right? I like Pat. I like Travis. I like Taylor Swift, but I don't want to see them anymore win. I don't want to see it. I want to see Kermit cry because it'll make me feel really good. And there's something inside that'll make me feel better about myself, I think. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that Rams game. The Rams defense plummeted the Minnesota Vikings last week, and now they are headed to Philadelphia to face the Eagles, which I think is going to be a very interesting match. Not really sure who's going to win this one. I would say the Eagles, being that they're at home, they're going to have their fan base there, and we all know what happens the last time the Rams and the Eagles faced each other. Back in week 12, Saqon Barkely had a day. So is that going to happen again? I'm not sure. Because back then the Eagles were a little bit better, I think, back at the beginning of the year.
Let's take the go route, Sam. Sam! What happened?
I'm not good in this environment. Hopefully we'll get the treasure next.
My poor Sam. Gone too soon.
I'm not dead yet. I could come back next year.
Go into the light.
Poor Sam Darnold, right? I was so happy that he was having a great season. I mean, it's so nice to see, someone get their chance to shine, or have their moment, especially when nobody believed in them. And going back to another person that, I don't think ever didn't have their moment, but yeah, maybe didn't have their opportunity to shine as much when he was in New York is Saqon Barkely. And he's like one of my favorite players now. And the Eagles are horrible, right? They're so horrible, to like. So it's hard to root for them, but you want to root for Saqon Barkely. But on the other side, you have the Rams who are just as equally unlikable because of their head coach, Sean McVay. He just reads douchebag to me, like total douchebag. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. He might be the world's nicest guy, but I don't think he is because of that haircut and all that product. He can't possibly be. But the Eagles fans we know are horrible. Let's see how Sean McVay does against the Eagles fans. So there you go. If it was a fight, there was a fight between Sean McVay and the Eagles fans would win hands down. Anyway, let me remind you guys of what happened the last time Saqon Barkely met the Rams defense.
It doesn't have to hit the ground, just be in the air and released. Yes, Chris. Yep.
And they got it right. And the Eagles have it. Here comes Saqon Barkely. Spinning, turning. Physical running he's done all year. Nias Smith, the rookie out of Texas A&M, the motion man. Barkely, left side, with blocking. Puts his head down and gets to the 27-yard line. But Barkely, who goes down, and Barkely again. Runs of 8 and 6 and 8. San Francisco and Buffalo. So fun and busy times. Great football time of the year. Barkely, another run for Saqon. Ankle tackle at the 44-yard line, or else there would have been more. Cam Kinchins, the rookie, brought him down. So my family got their tickets. Friday afternoon. Go check it out. Barkely on Sunday night, gain of 11. And Saqon takes it right near midfield in the first down. 3:10 till the half. Woo. Barkley up the middle. Spun down by Omar Speights, the undrafted rookie out of LSU. But big chunks of yards to start this drive. No rushing for 10 yards, but he has 61. Keeps his balance here. And there's a rush of 11 yards. Down hard hit. Rams still have 2 timeouts to use if they want to try to get the ball back. Hurts looking left, covered. Now making it up. On the run, he fires sideline. See if they're in bounds with Barkley. Yes. And their adjustments will wait. It's the Eagles beginning at their own 30 with Saqon Barkely as the running back. You said it, Chris. Big opening. Barkley let loose. Saqon will take it the distance. Touchdown. Terrific blocking up front. And Barkley goes 70 to extend the lead.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if Saqon Barkely was on your fantasy football team. He wasn't on mine. Imagine. You guys are so lucky if he was. But yeah, that was fun to watch. So it'll be fun to watch this week. Speaking of Pat Mahomes, him and his wife welcomed a new baby girl on the bye week when they were off. Like, how convenient, right? Only Pat Mahomes. They named her Golden Ray. Adorable. So, good for them. We're happy for them on their new baby. We don't have anything to say about that. I don't know if you guys seen this. There was an Eagles fan heckling a Packers fan this week. I think he was calling her ugly. It was a pretty disgusting video. Seen on the internet that guy lost his job, and I think they said he's banned from the stadium. So everything you guys do now, you know, people are watching, and I know everybody wants to do things for like clickbait, but sometimes, you know, it's not worth it losing your job and things like that. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I have to put the volume down in here though. You know why? Because Facebook will tag me for this.
Take a look. It's been up.
They will tag me for it. All right. So this week, AJ Brown was spotted reading on the sidelines a book called Inner Excellence. This book has shot up the Amazon book charts, and everyone's talking about it. I think it's great. I guess he said something like, you guys thought I was mad, and I wasn't. I was just reading this book. Because there's some tension, isn't there, between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown? I don't know. I think there's tension on that team in general, and that's going to all come to play, I think, especially if they lose this game. I mean, there is tension in the locker room. It's never good. And even last week after they won, they seemed pissed, right? Because it's just not up to their standards. So yeah, so I think it's great. I'm a big reader. I love books, and I love that he was using this time for self-help. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone else is going to start doing this now that he's doing this. If we'll see more like guys in college or other guys in the league, you know, reading on the sidelines to try to stay in the game. Yeah, we really didn't have too much that went down. Like no lawsuits were filed this week in the sports world. I don't think so. A little bit less drama. I thought it was great that AJ Brown was reading off the sidelines. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But apparently there's people that do, like the douchebag from Barstool Sports, that Dave Portnoy. He's such a douchebag too. He reads like a douchebag to me, like bro. I don't know, not even a cool bro, but let me show you what him and John Gruden had to say about AJ Brown reading on the sidelines. Now I have the reading rainbow song stuck in my head. No, you guys don't have to have it because that's the way.
Coach, if you're out there, coach, and you look back and you got your star wide receiver reading Moby Dick on the sidelines when you don't have the football, what do you do in that situation?
I don't know. I'm speechless on that, Dave. I have no idea what the hell's going on, who's monitoring the sidelines, but they might as well bring an English professor down there to teach class. It made me sick letting a receiver do that during the game. I don't care who it is. But I go back. Go ahead.
What if he said, I mean, that's what I thought. And then you read it, you saw the book, and the book has come out now. The book is basically a self-help book on how to stay in the moment. Does that change it? Like he's trying to stay locked in by reading a little passage here in his book, or there's no reading on a Gruden sideline?
No, I'm just learning these things. There's no props allowed on the field. If you have a touchdown, you can't pull out a cell phone or a Sharpie, and you can't read a book on the sidelines. It just can't happen. Roger Goodell, somebody in the league office needs to make a note of this. I saw Jim McMahon with a headband. You can't do that. You certainly can't be reading literature during a football game. That's not right.
I'm sure there are worse things you can do. He said you cannot be reading literature during a football. How dare you read literature during a football game? That is so funny. Disagree with the bros. You know who else are bros? Hold on a second. Are we over Pat McAfee? Okay, so watching the Ohio State game, who do I see? Pat McAfee. Watching wrestling, who do I see? Pat McAfee. Watching TV, who do I see? Pat McAfee. Every other city I go, every other video, no matter where I go. I started it. I had to finish it. You know I had to go there. But I do. I see him everywhere. And let me tell you real quick about what I think about Pat McAfee. I started watching this show this summer, and I liked it because I thought it was good. It covered all sports. I like that he could say what he wants. But I guess I'm just kind of like over the condescending remarks because obviously he's from Pittsburgh and he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And it's not even from him as much as the goons on his show, like the one guy with the beard that I cannot stand him. He's so annoying. He just like, ugh. He just screams Steeler fan. He wears like the hoodie and he's just such a bro. Like he's just sitting there like, ugh. And then I hate like every time he says a word, like if he says something like the gun, and then all the guys go, ugh. I don't know. It just seems like a cult. It's like he's just like a cult leader and they'll just like listen to whatever he says. That's what it comes off as. It doesn't come off like they really give out their opinions on there. It comes off like they're bros, man, and they love Pat McAfee, and they think they're so cool to be part of this crew. And if I was a Steelers fan, I would like them more, but since I'm not, and I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, the condescending remarks that they say all the time makes me just want to like fight them. I don't know. That's not a threat. I mean, I would never. Should I take that out? Because I'm not threatening to fight them, but I'm just saying it makes me want to. Well, it's that time of year again, the time of year where we all can argue, overanalyze, and disagree about what should happen in the NFL draft, especially Cleveland Browns fans when you have the second pick and a desperate need of a quarterback. We haven't had a draft pick first round draft pick in the last couple years. So this is going to be a big decision. And of course, everyone has an opinion, including myself, right? You know, it's really hard to evaluate everything when you don't know what's going to happen, in the off season. Okay, so with the start of silly season, we have to talk about brokeback quarterback mountain. What's brokeback quarterback mountain? Well, it's the opposite of Mount Rushmore. You know, when people ask you what's your Mount Rushmore of, brokeback mountain is where quarterbacks go to find a new home and have maybe a second chance of resurrection, like Joe Flacco did last year. And, this year too. Cool, right? Well, who lives at Brokeback Mountain? Well, let's take a look. There we have Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, and Browns uniforms. This week we had some talk about Dak Prescott potentially getting traded to the Browns and maybe some type of deal to the Cowboys where Jerry Jones could secure Deion Sanders as head coach and Deion Sanders could secure his son there. We will talk about that later. Okay, right here you see Deion Sanders looking like not my son going to the Browns, and that's Dak Prescott. I think that's Sam Darnold over there in the background. All part Dak. That was Sam Darnold when he got sacked 9 times. Yeah. Oh God. Douchebag. Oh my gosh, what does that do for you guys? And then Kirk Cousins, oh my gosh. He just seems like he's just too soft. I don't know. The thought of Kirk Cousins, because he was like the first one that everyone talked about after they brought in Michael Penix and everything, I was just like, oh no. It just, Cleveland, we need someone like with grit, and Kirk Cousins just seems like he's just too it all comes back to the quarterback show on Netflix and the Alpha Tour. Like, once you let your wife dress you and she has bad taste and that's what she puts you in and you say yes, and you're just like, whatever. I don't know. I'm sure his wife's a lovely woman. Even though she doesn't have great taste in clothes. No, not Kirk Cousins, but when you say Aaron Rodgers, then I'm like, okay, Kirk Cousins starts looking a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because that's just like, oh my God, no, right? Like, I can get on board with that. I could say that's my quarterback with him. That's my quarterback. Like, no, that's my quarterback. No, cannot say it. Nope. Let's see. I could say it to Dak. Dak, that's my quarterback. What about Deion Sanders? I don't know. Okay. Either it's go shopping at Brokeback Mountain or draft a quarterback in the draft. Now, we do have the second pick, and there are 2 quarterbacks in the draft. So one of the biggest arguments that we're going to have is, in a bad quarterback draft year, do the Browns have to secure a quarterback, or is it okay to take another option? All right, so there we go. Those are our 2 guys at the top. We got Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. So these 2 guys, which, one of them is going to go to Carolina, right? Because they need a quarterback. And we also know that the Giants desperately need a quarterback. So they might also be looking to move up to grab one of these guys. If we don't take a quarterback there, let's look at who is here at the top of the board. Why not take Travis Hunter? I mean, he's a double threat where he can play corner and wide receiver, which we could use both. Imagine him playing on the opposite side of Denzel Ward. I think that would be an excellent choice. There's also Abdul Carter, and almost all of these guys will not only be valuable to our team next season, but for the years to come. More So then we can say for the two quarterbacks of Cam and Shakur, who are not that great. And I understand where we need a quarterback. I get it. And this is our chance to get one and develop one. But we also don't want to take a hit and miss, right? When we can maybe pick up a quarterback off of Brokeback Mountain or off of one something in the off season, do something to get us a quarterback and work on getting a quarterback in next year's draft where the quarterbacks are a lot better and we have a greater opportunity to get a franchise quarterback. Now, I'm just weighing out the options. I know there's, I understand get a quarterback now too argument. I'm just trying to look at the other end of it and see, what if we didn't take a quarterback, or do we necessarily have to take a quarterback? And really quick, I'm going to look at the top of the board over here. We have, like I said, we have the Titans with the number 1 pick, who are sure to probably get a quarterback with the Cleveland Browns. And then the Giants looking for a quarterback too, I'm sure. Patriots picked up their quarterback last year in Drake May, and I'm not sure what the Jackson Jaguars are going to need here. So, yeah. And back to these two quarterbacks, who I don't think either of them would be drafted before any of the quarterbacks in last year's draft. I'm so scared with Shedeur Sanders and his name, what that brings to the Cleveland Browns with his dad, who is such a force, to be reckoned with, that it would be hard to ignore his presence. And how would someone like Kevin Stefanski manage Deion Sanders? I don't know if you'd be able to, which might be a great thing, to have Deion Sanders, but maybe not. It's like bringing sand to the beach. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, there's just a lot, there's a lot to digest with taking on. Sure, because you are bringing Deion Sanders too. You can't not. He's coming no matter what. His presence will be there with him. And then I just feel like they would go with Shedeur over Cam Ward only because of the name. And that's just like such a stupid thing. But you wouldn't say that with Johnny Manziel, but there you have it. It has been said that Jerry Jones wants Deion Sanders in Dallas as a head coach, and that Deion Sanders is actually considering it. Wow, what do I think about that? The same thing. I feel like maybe with someone like Jerry Jones, who has that huge personality, who doesn't want to step back, obviously, from running the team, it seems to be a big problem there in Dallas. Would he step back more with someone like Deion Sanders as the head coach running the shots? And, that's, and then about his son coming with him. Would he want to play with his son? I don't even know if that's true. I think we all just think we know, but we don't really know, what their family dynamics are and what he wants for his son. Maybe they don't want to work together. I don't know. Another, that's, what if Shedeur is not that great in the NFL and we waste a year drafting him, and then it's just going to be like, he's going to say the Browns wasted his life or whatever. So much room for activities. Oh my gosh. I can go on and on. We can talk about this forever, but that's okay because we have a lot of time to talk about it. And as more information comes up, our ideas will change, our thoughts will change. I know mine will as I read more, learn more. I'm always trying to take in information every day, which influences my decisions as I get educated on what the Browns need. I mean, what I feel the most educated on, though, is being a Browns fan. So all that experience comes in to my hesitation with, picking another quarterback with a big name and not making the right decision in this draft, or ultimately making the wrong decision and wasting another whole year developing a quarterback that's not going to go anywhere, and taking a player like Travis Hunter and him becoming an all-star, going into the Hall of Fame on another team, where we could have had him and brought in another, I don't know. You got to think about it all. I mean, I'm glad I'm not making the decisions, maybe I should be making decisions, right? Okay, like I said, I'm going to be talking about this a lot, and I love all your feedback and your opinions. So please continue to give them to me, even if they don't, follow along with mine. I most likely they probably don't, but that's okay. That's the kind of information I like to take in when I try to make a decision on, what I think they should do. So let's take a look at some of the things that you guys said about the Browns and what they should do with the second draft pick. Okay, I asked, as of today, January 15th, what do you think the Cleveland Browns should do with the second pick? Asking for a friend. The friend was me, you guys, and it was for this. Okay. All right. And let's see. I understand you might change your mind, and that's okay. Like I said, you have a lot of time before the draft, and, things might change as you take in more information and weigh things out. Let's get straight entertainment factor. Draft. All right. Over the years, our first round picks have been a narcoleptic with social anxiety, an immature drunk, another immature drunk, a laundry list of video game junkies, and reads notes, chronic. Okay. Trade down and get a crazy amount of equity back to build the roster over the next couple of years. There is no franchise quarterback in this draft. Draft the best available quarterback. Travis Hunter, there you go. I'm sure they'll figure a way to screw it up. Yes. As you can see, a lot of different opinions. So this will be a fun season to talk about them. Thank you guys again for commenting and engaging. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'm out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun talking playoff football and the draft. Please look forward to my next podcast next week, where we'll be talking about football and the NFL draft, and whatever else happens that week. Also, please, I want to subscribe to Bougie Sports on YouTube. I would appreciate that. Also, press the notification bell so that every time we are going live. I just try to record my podcast during the day when I get a chance and get it up there. So you never know when they're going to come. I don't have a specific day and time. I think I should, but I'll try to do that. But for now, if you can hit that little notification button, that'd be awesome. Also, you can check out bougiesports.net and check out all the other podcasts that we have. Squad Pod, it's going to be talking a lot of WWE. We have the college football podcast. We talk about so much things. Also, we're going to have a Super Bowl special coming up. So much more. Please check all that out at bougiesports.net. Thank you guys again for everything. Have a wonderful week and go Cavs.